Today is officially 21 days from Rocky Mountain Race Week 2022. I am in the process of a brake change. My master cylinder, as I pulled it into the garage for some other maintenance, the pedal seemed really weak and went to the floor. I'd already intended to replace it, but this kind of expedited the need for it. I've got some other stuff to do to the car, but right now the priority is going to be get the brakes going. With this Wilwood product, we'll see how it turns out. But I talked to the tech folks, and this is what they recommended. I have a component here that, since I run I must be in a different box. Here it is. But I run drum brakes in the back, and if you do, they recommend you put that in the line for the amount of pressure needed for manual brakes versus disc. So that's one extra thing. I've got a proportioning valve in here, and they're set up with some pre-bent lines. It's supposed to make it pretty compact, so hopefully we'll get a good look once it's on the car. I know the original proportioning valve and master cylinder setup. I'm going to get some footage of that here in a moment. It pushed it to the side, favoring the header versus like the fender and the inner fender side, and so that really put one of the lines really close to the number 7 header tube. So we'll see what it looks like with this. Again, it's supposed to be more compact, a little tighter, all right in the vicinity of the master cylinder. Should be right. Everything should be right below this instead of up against the firewall and toward the header. So hopefully that cleans that up a little bit, gives me a little more space to do spark plugs or anything that might have been an issue before. So I guess we'll find out once it's on. And it definitely looks better and might even shave a couple pounds. Here's a quick look of the configuration I had before. So I'm running manual disc brakes. I have aerospace components, calipers, and rotors. But I have this OEM setup here for manual brakes. This is the proportioning valve, master cylinder. Anyway, so as you can see from where it bolts on, it kind of favored the header side. And there's one of the points there, it was kind of tight. And the bottom side here on the very corner right there, that had a line in it that goes to the passenger side front. So we'll hopefully tidy that up a little bit, give us a little space around that header. We've always had some difficulty getting to that number 7 plug, so hopefully that frees that up. Right now, for me, it's easier to just jack the car up and hit that plug from the bottom with these 2 1/8 headers that I have. So we'll see if anything changes with this change up. But everything should be directly under the new Wilwood master cylinder, so we'll see what it's all like once we get it bolted on. Alright, Wilwood brakes. Installation of their master cylinder for disc brakes, but I have drum in the back of my 9-inch, so I'm required to run this little pressure release deal, or low pressure valve. So I had to buy like a foot piece of 3/16 brake line to come out of the proportioning valve. It's going to make a little 90 going into it. That's going out of it. And then to the back brakes. They didn't have a union that would take me from 3/16 to the 1/4 inch for the rear brake. Don't mind the mess in the background there. That's going to be addressed. But anyway, so I have this other union adapter thing that takes it from 1/4 to male, no, 3/16 to male 1/4, and then female to female to take that. So anyway, We have a number of pieces to make this work. I could have ordered and waited. I may come back and revisit this at some point, but I need to get this car moving so I can put the car up on a trailer and take it to drop part of the transmission out of it, maybe stick the gear vendor on it. Oh, did I give away too much? And get a measurement for a drive shaft. We are 3 weeks out, exactly 3 weeks out from Rocky Mountain Race Week 2022. So, handful of things to do. This is one of them. Still working on a battery shutoff switch. I don't know that for Rocky Mountain I'm worried about going in the nines or single digits, because there's just an index class, and I don't think on the mountain or in Pueblo I'm going to be able to hit 9 flat. So I mean, it's like running an 8 deep into the 8s with my current engine. So take a lot of gnaws to get there. We're going to try to get this bad boy to stop though, and that's why we're putting this Wilwood kit in, because this crusty old master cylinder had some issues as I parked it, and then there was kind of a nagging leak that I was just living with. So here we go. We're going to try to get this thing in today and move on to some other projects. Alright, so a new lesson learned. The little rubber boot. I thought I'd be sneaky and do a bleeding of the brakes situation on the car instead of bench bleeding, because I wanted to have as many of my lines kind of pre-bent and connected to the proportioning valve so that the master cylinder with the bleeder tubes on it wasn't going to be a hassle to install. Lo and behold, I forgot the little rubber boot, so I had to undo the pedal, which actually my son's under there now doing that, because Big Block Bob's a big boy, and although I can do it, it is pain. I'll leave it at that. So booty's on. We are about to bleed the system. Everything's kind of snug here, and that's why we did it this way, to get the pedal and the boot back on, and hopefully we'll have some good solid brakes that don't leak. Stay tuned. We are well into the bleeding process. I thought before I came to the front I would go ahead and secure the proportioning valve to the bracket that goes with the master cylinder. And another lesson learned: you might as well secure that before you mount it to the firewall, because there's a little too much tension on the lines to just make it work. So I went ahead and removed it from the firewall again, giving me the kind of manipulation room I needed to screw those screws in. So now we're back in business. We're going to start bleeding the front some more. I haven't felt the pedal. I'm having the kid push on the pedal, so hopefully we'll be rocking along here in a few more moments and finish bleeding out the front and see what kind of pedal we have. I thought I might wrap up this video and talk a little bit about the tool situation, and something that might have made this job go a little easier is a good double flare kit. I thought I had one. I picked this up. Come over here. It's M over PP. Picked this up at I want to say a swap meet or something. It's one of these tool people that have a bunch of stuff, and it seemed like a good price, 20 bucks. The problem though for me has been the 3/16 line that I need. What's that? Yeah, this side. Where there should be some grooves. Let's see if we can get this dude to focus here. No grooves, man. It just lets the thing slip. They were there initially, but just trying to push the fitting in causes it to wear out. I think I tried the 1/4 inch and that seemed to do okay, but I wasted a lot of time on the 3/16 line. Not gonna lie. Ended up running up to O'Reilly's, picked up this one. This is just their kind of bare bones setup, made by PT, I believe. 80670 part number. Anyway, this one seemed to do a little bit better. There were a couple of them that it seemed to want to walk the fitting in, even the quarter, like the stem on it seems a little loose, and that makes it want to kind of wander a little bit. The bigger line did better. I think the 3/16, I had to do that one a couple times to get a flare that I was proud of. It kept trying to go a little off kilter, but at least it was held in place. This did a really good job of holding the line. Did not wear it out despite doing a handful of flares. MPP is garbage. I would avoid that if you have any, unless you like wasting time, I guess. If you like wasting time, use that one, because it's done nothing for me. And I think this is about the third time I've tried to use it. I just didn't realize that I was using the one that was garbage. So unfortunately, I had to run out and buy that. That wastes time, of course, going to the store and buying something, driving back, whatever. So made the job a little longer than it needed to be. And then this one's a little better. I thought about going to Harbor Freight, but this is what I settled on. Harbor Freight, I think, wanted almost $60 for one that had some good reviews. This one still got good knurling, or whatever you want to call it. So I'll just say this one holds the line better. Flaring is up to the user, I guess. So I did use a bench vise to try to secure it and hold it better. Tried to make sure everything was flush and square. Had a couple that I just didn't like, so I had to redo them. But definitely makes a difference having the right tools. So I just thought I'd bring that up. We are now officially finished with Rocky Mountain Race Week. The Wilwood master cylinder performed flawlessly. I did, at the end of the video for the gear vendor, allude to my brakes maybe sticking some, and sure enough, there was some additional adjustment I had to work out in the pedal. I pretty much had to go all the way down to the end of the rod closest to the master cylinder and then come back just a few turns maybe. I want to say anywhere from 1.5 to 3 turns is probably about where I am from being bottomed out on it. Because once you bolt it up and the pin goes through the slot on the pedal and everything, that's about where this one needed to be adjusted in order for it to not apply any brake pressure to the calipers. So here we are. We'll look into maybe plugging some wires into this and using some other features in it. Not really sure what that does. Feel free to comment if you already know what it does. I'm hoping maybe line lock capability. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it actually is for. It could be ABS too. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching the video.